So this is what the kit came with. Came in this nice carrying case, and I got the high vis just so that everybody knows it's not a lethal. Got your mag. They give you only one CO2 cartridge, which I think is kind of lame, and you get 6 rounds of the practice inerts. You get 6 rounds of the live, which is pepper and tear gas, and then 6 of the impact rounds. These I bought on Amazon just on my own. I got a 25 pack of these Gamma 12 grain CO2s, and I think there's 100 of these practice balls, not Salt brand. And then directly Salt brand, I bought 10 more rounds of the pepper and TC, and this was about $50 for 10 rounds. Anyway, links are down below in the description. So I'm going to start off with the training rounds because they're inexpensive. So I'll put 5 rounds in the mag. That's what it holds. Oops, just pushes right in there. Then if you wanted to release them, you just push down on this little lever right here and they all come out quickly. Just so you know, the actual piercing mechanism or needle or whatever you want to call it is right here. So normally you would load neck down in an air gun, but this one is the opposite. So you go the tail end down first. That way the piercing mechanism that you screw down on this can pierce it. It won't go in the other way. So you just finger tight this thing down. There you go. It has a very obvious stop, so you don't need to go super tight. So I forgot to mention, just always make sure it's on safe. The safety's right here. Push safe, it says, and then push to fire on the other side. One thing I don't like is the size of this thing, but I read a lot of different reviews on these, so I went with this one. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go with it. Byrna is, more expensive, but I feel like this is gonna be, based on most of the reviews, pretty solid and reliable. So while the safety's on, we just hit the bottom of this. So it's not real obvious that it was pierced, but it was. And the way that you could test it if you're not sure is you can push in on this with your hand and but then it loses some charge. So that's the risk you have there. To load this thing, you point it in safe direction. We're always going to make sure our backstop is clear. There's no pets or kids or windows or anything else in the way. Cars. Just slide the mag in like this. Push it in. Just clicks just like that. To release the mag, same as pretty much any other weapon. Push the release and then pull it out. Okay. I built this trap specifically for this purpose, and it's just a 50 or 55 gallon blue drum. You can find it on Facebook Marketplace, everywhere pretty much, and it's covered up with a leaf bag that I bought on Amazon, and all the links are down below in the description for this. See, I just cut the opening here with a jigsaw. Here is the top of the eye bolt, and then I just found a piece of plastic that I put over the top to protect the bag when it's covered up. And this barrel used to have sake. But you can see the eye bolt up at the top here, and then I used a clothes hanger wrapped in some cardboard. I'll just pull it out because I made it so you can remove it. You can see the eye bolt. Just some cardboard here on the back, and then an old garage towel on the front, so when it impacts, it hits, slows it down here, stops it with the cardboard, and then theoretically falls down into the bottom where you can capture your training rounds. Leave the cut section on top, and it'll give it a little bit more slope for the rain to come off. Now, there's a lot of guys out there with reviews with chronometers and all sorts of things. This is just a really basic intro for my subscribers who may be interested in this. You likely found this video because you're one of my subscribers and you've watched all my other videos. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and take a shot. That target right there is 10 yards away, and eventually we'll back up to 25 yards. And they say these things are good to a lot further than that, but I would say 25 yards is a pretty good range versus using bear spray, which you might get blowback. All right, so after my initial 2 shots, I realized just how bad these things go flying when you're using the impact rounds, especially because they don't come apart. So I've put this barrel way back in the corner here because initially I actually hit the barrel right here. And that's a pretty good dent for a plastic ball. And it went way off somewhere, probably into the neighbor's yard. So being in these neighborhoods, you gotta be a lot more careful. Obviously, I can't shoot anything in my real arsenal, and that's specifically why I bought this, was because if there's ever unrest and you don't want to use lethal force on somebody, you could be up on your roof, 25 to 30, 40 yards away and repel them, possibly, if they're unarmed and you can't use the force that you could legally. So anyway, I got this plywood here on the side, the bag I just hung up here, so if it deflects either way, I won't break one of my windows. So anyway, the second round that I shot hit right up in here, and we'll take a look at the cardboard when we're all done. All right, so out of 5 rounds, I got 3 in here. One went toward the neighbors. I think it actually hit the fence and came back in, but the other one actually deflected. You can see here. So my point of aim initially was right in the center, and at 10 yards, they both hit about a foot high. So you got to remember that this thing is made for, a pretty good range. Actually, that was pretty good to know. So aiming here a foot high, and so I aimed at the bottom here and they went straight in. And so here is the back of the cardboard looks like. You can see the 2 rounds that struck high. There was another round, I think, that hit low, and or might have gone in actually the same hole, but that's the example. Yeah, so 2 of them went in the same hole, aiming at the same spot, and that's 10 yards. So that's, So what this tells me is that if you're trying to defend yourself and you're aiming at the center mass here from 10 yards away, you could hit them in the face. So I'm going to back up to 20 yards and see where we hit. So I already blew through 5 rounds with the first cartridge, and so I'm not sure what this first round's going to do. It's probably going to go low. We're going to find out. Now we're going to do the practice round, which has just a powder in it, non-irritating type. Different day today, a little bit cloudier and wetter. Like I was explaining yesterday, at close range, 10 yards, 20 yards, this thing hits about a foot high. So you got to keep that in mind when you're putting up your sight pattern. So there's a few fragments left over. I would be curious though, on a soft target, what it takes to get one of these to come apart. So I'm probably going to use an archery target at some point, test it out to see if these things actually come apart. Here you can see the powder dispersed, and with the video, I'm sure you probably saw the powder as well. I'll have to take a look at that, but not much as far as a dent goes. The thing pretty much shattered and impact, didn't leave a dent at all. But that's what we want. We want it to come apart to disperse whatever powder you've got going on there. So, and this is a heavily padded jacket with the practice round. See if it impacts and spreads out. All right, so point of impact here, you can see on the jacket, did not come apart. So that could be a problem if you've got people you're trying to repel who have something like that heavy padding on. You might have to just hit it in the pavement below. Actually, it is cracked. It did crack. It just didn't come all the way apart. And I noticed there was some powder here, so it did crack on impact, but it did not shatter like the other one did. So this is what's inside the practice rounds. Just looks like baby powder, feels like baby powder. So probably the same casing that they use on the OC and the CS stuff. But anyway, that's what it looks like. Many other YouTube videos out there from people who have mods and velocities and attachments and everything else you can imagine. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helped you. And don't forget to click the links below. Help support the channel. I paid for all of my stuff myself here, and just trying to help people make an educated decision when they decide to go whatever direction that they go. Thanks.